I'm good right now. Thank you.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars.
Yeah.
The hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you all. Slight correction. We are not at the Margaritaville Terrace. We are at Wahoo Willie's for our Sunday show. And we are taking a little break from the mayor's show for the next 2 weeks so that we can do hour-long interviews with the candidates running for the Fort Myers Beach Town Council. And I'm looking around because the PIO was supposed to be here, Abigail, who said that she wanted to come on the show and talk about the fact that she won the Mrs. Florida crown. I don't know what that has to do with being the PIO of Fort Myers Beach, but apparently not enough for her to actually show up to the show when she said she was going to be here. So she's not here. The last time she was here, she was dropped off by the Secret Service. So maybe there was a problem with the Secret Service van. So she is not here. But I did want to also mention, which was one of the other reasons she was coming on, was to talk about the parade, the 4th of July parade. There is still time.
Wow, you are
What?
You're spicy already.
Well, I'm not going to be spicy during the interview. I want to get it out of the
Do I
way.
get to be spicy during the interview?
I want to get it out of the way. The other thing
First
is
Friday night, now today. Boy, you are really.
Friday night was something else. But so the parade is the 4th of July. And in order to get your float in the parade, you go to the Bay Oaks website or Facebook page and you get in contact with Neil. The more floats, the better, everybody. So please, and floats include golf carts and bicycles and motorcycles. Howie's going to be in the parade with his orange vest on. I think Howie is the Grand Marshal of the parade this year. I didn't know if you knew that, dear. He's the Grand Marshal of the parade for the 250th anniversary. And so go on to the Bay Oaks website and register your float there. And let's enjoy this anniversary, dear. Let's make this anniversary special. 250 years. We're sold out of our shirts.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our wedding anniversary.
No,
I'm
let's
like,
not
oh
make
my
that
God.
special.
250 years. Kill me now.
So the other thing I wanted to mention to you before we have Tom come on is I would appreciate it if you had a stern conversation with our son-in-law. He played pickleball with us today. And immediately he was trash talking all the people on the pickleball court.
That. I do not believe that.
You should have saw the way he was acting. He was hitting the ball at the girls. You know, he was trying to hit them in their nether regions.
You're talking about yourself.
No. I swear he was being nasty.
No.
He is a natural athlete.
He
He's
is a
30
natural
years younger than all of us out there.
He is the kindest, most polite.
Well, today must have been a bad day for him because he was
the fact
rude
that he married into this family. I'm sure he's reconsidering his choices.
No, so he gets on the court and they give him a lesson, and 10 minutes later they regretted giving him a lesson because it was like he fit right in with everybody because he's
got natural ability. And if you hadn't been so mean to him yesterday during our Father's Day,
I was mean to him.
You were egging him on, and you were egging him on, and
you don't even know what I'm going to say. You have no idea what I'm going to say. So this is what happens when you have an 8-month-old baby in a house. They put the baby on the table, and everyone makes noises with their faces and their mouths that they've never ever made before. None of it makes any sense, and the baby is looking at everybody like, "What in the hell are these people saying and doing?" They're trying to make them laugh. None of the words make any sense. You can't string together a sentence with the words the 4 adults around the table are making. And the baby is just sitting there, not doing anything, not reacting.
He wasn't smiling.
That's what we did yesterday for 2 hours. The baby was sitting there and we were all trying to, I don't even know what we were trying to get the baby to do. What are we trying to get the baby to do when the baby's sitting there? None of it makes any sense. The baby didn't laugh once the whole time yesterday.
Well, he didn't laugh
once.
when you were talking to him, but he laughed a lot when everybody else was talking with him.
And then you put the baby in the playpen, and then everybody makes the noises at the table toward the playpen, trying to get the baby to do something.
Moving on.
So that was our Father's Day yesterday.
You need to stop being a baby about it.
No, it was great to have them over. So, all right. So in case you didn't know it, you okay over there? Yeah, it's too loud. All right. Well, you can turn it down. Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys got to judge it. I can only hear what's in my headphones. There's an election coming up in November. I don't know if you knew that. And I don't know if the Strait of Hormuz is open today or closed, but every hour is a different hour, but that has nothing to do with the local election. There's 5 candidates running for 3 open seats on the town council. And yesterday we had John McClain on. We've had Rebecca Link on. Anita's coming on next Sunday. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Who? Oh, yeah, Ed Schoonemaker. We had Ed Schoonemaker on a couple weeks ago, too. And you can go back and watch all of those interviews on our YouTube channel. We like to give everybody a full hour and then also do the debate.
Oh, and that gives me an opportunity, not to this crowd, but I just want to get it off my chest.
Do it.
That the YouTube, anybody can watch YouTube. Right. So if you're blocked from the Facebook page, we're not limiting your access to vital information. You can get it.
None of this information is vital, by the
YouTube.
way.
You can get it on YouTube. You're not being
I've never blocked. I don't even know how to block.
Of town business or the interviews.
Yeah.
They can repost it. You can go to YouTube and watch it.
Yes.
You just can't comment. But you can't come on our page and act a fool and expect us to sit back and just let you have at it.
Talk about spicy, Debbie. What's going on with her today? Wow. All right.
I missed that last week. I feel better.
Yes, you
I
look better.
apologize to you, and I feel better.
All right, good. So there are 3 open seats for the 5 candidates. And the other thing I want to mention was Wednesday night at 5 o'clock, we're having a debate with all the 5 candidates, which is going to be at the Margaritaville ballroom. So all of that out of the way. Let's introduce our guest for today, Mr. Tom Brady, everybody. And by the way, today's show is sponsored by Michael Stewart, Power Block Builders, and Eagle Strike Roofing, Jamie. Eagle Strike Roofing. All right. Tom, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Father's Day. Happy
to you.
solstice.
Solstice.
Oh, it's the
Solstice,
summer
longest day of the
solstice,
year.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Every
Oh, thank
day
you.
after this is shorter for the rest of the year.
He'll
So
still go to bed at 6 p.m. It won't
celebrate the
matter.
longest day of the year.
All righty. So the first question
Well,
is,
and happy Father's Day
Yes,
to you.
thank
And
you.
thank you for joining us. Hopefully this won't be painful.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
and let's start off with the easy question that we ask all the candidates. Who is Tom Brady? Well, I won't ask Anita who is Tom Brady, but I'm asking you, who is Tom Brady?
Tom Brady and his wife Sally settled here on Fort Myers Beach in 2018. We became permanent residents, full-time residents. And let me take you back to Tom Brady. Who
was Tom
Go ahead,
Brady
Tom.
back in the day?
was Tom Brady? Tom Brady was born.
Oh no,
in-
this is another Schoonamaker thing.
This is a testament to my character. Tom
Okay.
Brady was born in Alexandria, Virginia. His father was in the CIA and career CIA. And Tom, when he was 5 years old, moved to the island of Saipan in the Pacific, where he spent 5, 6, and 7, 3 years there. The CIA was running covert missions into Southeast Asia, even though we weren't involved in that war at the time. But that's the way it was. And I was, the book Bringing Up Huck. Huck, The Lives of Huck.
Oh,
Lee Melsick's book.
Yeah.
That was Finding Huck. Finding Huck. That was my life when I was growing up. Kid on the beach, no TV, no radio, no nothing. A deserted island in the middle of the Pacific. So we came back to the DC area, and I grew up, went to school, went to college, and then got drafted into the Army. So I spent a couple years in the Army, and what a learning experience that was. It changes your life. Changed
where
my
did
life.
you go when you were in the Army?
I never was deployed overseas,
Okay.
but I was stationed with the 82nd Airborne and the 101st Airborne. So my life was camping out for 2 years, preparing myself to go overseas. But I was never deployed because the Vietnam War was gearing down at that time.
Did you have to jump out of planes?
I did not jump out of planes, but I was supposedly a fixed station radio repairman. This is way off topic, but they loaded my equipment in the back of a C-130 and flew around on the hilltops, treetops until they stopped, and instantly you had to get your equipment off the plane, and the loadmaster screaming and yelling at you, and you would spend the next few weeks out in the field. So spent a lot of time out in the field with the 82nd and 101st Airborne divisions. So oh, by the way, I met my wife Sally when I was 16 years old. So we were high school sweethearts. So that happened sometime in that intervening time. Then after the Army, I went back to college and finished that up. I got married, and one of my first jobs was an electronics engineering firm, and really, it was a feeding ground for my work with the government. So I went to work for the United States government at the CIA. I worked, if you've ever seen the pictures of the lobby of the CIA, there's a big seal there. Well, I worked underneath that seal in a vault. So not only was I in the agency, but I was also in a vault underneath that seal.
Doing what?
Because the work that we were doing was so highly classified.
What were you doing?
If he tells you he has to kill
10
you.
o'clock Eastern time, Mrs. PIO. 10 o'clock Eastern time. Did the Secret Service drop you off? Now you have to wait until after. Holy moly.
You want to bump her in here?
No.
ahead.
We got to start the show on time. We're always on time. But I like giving her grief. She could take it.
So-
Unlike
so-
Gasney.
So I don't think it's secret anymore. I think we were doing a strategic arms limitation treaty verification. So we signed an agreement with the Soviets that said, this is how many missiles you get. This is how many missiles we get. Nuclear missiles. And we did verification of those treaties. And it turns out, I can tell you this, that guess what? The Russians lied. We
Yeah.
said all the telemetry tree data, all the information was all unclassified, and you'd never encrypt that data. They did, and they lied. So
I'm sure we lied too.
the
We
lesson-
lied
no,
too.
we didn't.
Americans never lie.
We didn't on that. But the lesson of this is that you do have to do verification of these
Yeah,
treaties. So
yeah.
no matter whether it's with Iran, now it's with Iran. So you have to do verifications.
When I was in the CIA, I used to go into Russia to help count those nuclear.
I wish they
think
had
it's.
kept you there.
I think it's okay for me to say that now, but
Did you?
I mean,
we do have guys that
behind
do
the
that.
lines,
So
yes.
that's another group.
yeah.
That's another group.
So can we move on yet, or you got
No,
more?
No, I'm not
I
done
see,
yet.
I see.
So when I was working there, the sub company was bought out by H. Ross Perot. If you know Ross Perot, he's quite a character, wonderful gentleman, instilled excellent management leadership values in me. He's the reason why Jimmy Carter became president, because he ran and snagged 18% of the vote. And unfortunately, George Bush, the first Bush, was defeated because of that. But he was an excellent boss, and I went to work with him. And then our company was bought out by General Motors when it was Fortune 1. And that's how I got involved in the whole engineering IT field. With some great people, and Ross was a great leader. Ross had a book written about freeing people from Iran. Speaking of Iran, and I worked for Paul Chaperoni, who was one of the people that was freed out of Iran. So Ross formed his own army, and because his employees were captured and in Iran at the time, and he flew his own army in there, ex-retired military people, and broke them out of a prison in Iran.
And Paul Chaperoni went on to lead the band with David Letterman.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
he?
right.
It was,
No,
same guy or
different one,
different
I
guy? All right.
Anyway, so I lived through a bunch of those
Nice.
experiences, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of affected who I am today.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm gonna start the questioning off, if that's
Go
okay,
ahead.
dear.
Yeah.
So the easy ones. How much money have you raised so far? How much you think you need to raise, and what would you use the campaign money for?
Well, I personally funded the campaign myself. So all the money that's in there, it's public information, was $5,000 that I donated to my campaign. I did not need that much last time, but I felt that gave me a buffer in there to do whatever I needed to do. I have consulted with a lot of people, and they've given me advice on how much I need to do and how much I need to go out there. I will not accept contributions from any developers or people in that line. I do not want any implications that there's a potential of having that influence on me. I know people have accepted that in the past. I guess A.D. Root took $5,000 from London Bay when he ran his campaign against me, and I don't know that that's
He's not really relevant, so we don't even need to waste 30 seconds on explaining why that clown even ran for
It's
town
odd
council.
because
but that's
he's
different.
got plenty of money.
But it's
Yeah,
not.
why would he take any contributions?
But I don't
He's
like.
got oil
But I don't
money.
like the fact that. I guess the point of that is that I don't like the fact that it looks like some of these developers think that they can influence our elections.
Yeah. So okay, so let's talk about the recall. I want to talk about the recall. So
jumping right
did
into
you
that.
sign the recall petition?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe? I just want to get this point in, and then you can ask the next one, please. So, do you, now that you've seen what's going on with the court case, do you believe there's any evidence against John and Karen, or were they lied about?
I don't know. I still haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't know what's in Bill and Ray's mind and what they went through.
Well, but you're part of the recall. You're
No.
part of the whole recall committee.
No.
Everybody that signs the petition is part of the recall committee.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
So when you signed it, right?
Yes.
So and you didn't have any input into the development of it, but when you signed it, were you shown any information?
Yes.
You're shown evidence.
Oh no.
That's what she means.
That's what I
Evidence. Evidence of wrongdoing on their part. No.
So why would someone sign it if there wasn't evidence of those? Like you wouldn't they always tell you don't sign anything that you don't understand. And I'm sure you understand the difference between the recall process and the election process.
It's because the process doesn't allow for that. So you have to make up in your mind, was that plausible or not? And in my mind, it was plausible. Not that there was any evidence. ideally, the system would be that they would go through in a complete trial and present all this evidence. I think that's what you're looking for before you, in one perspective, before you could recall anybody. But you know the way the judicial system works,
Yeah,
that would take 5 years and they'd be out of office. So they expedited. This is my thinking about what the legislators were thinking when they put it in place was, we need to fast path that. So we're not going to go through a trial process where both sides are allowed to present evidence and then deny it. Or so you have to make your judgment, and it's a tough judgment. Do I think that it was plausible that those things went on? And I said, yes, it's plausible in my mind.
The recall process, the election process is set up if you don't agree with somebody politically or you think they suck at their job. Then you wait till the election and you vote somebody else in. The recall process is like the next level. That means something happened. Somebody did something wrong. It doesn't matter whether you like them or not. There's somebody saying they did something wrong. And then the court doesn't rule on whether they did anything wrong.
Yes.
The court says it's up to the people who signed the paper to make the judgment about the facts of what is being alleged. So how do you make a judgment about them if there's no facts presented and sign the paper?
Well, that is the system, and
Yeah.
it's difficult, but that is the system. If you look at the system, I would go so far, my beliefs on the system ought to be that threshold for recalling people is so high that, there are 28 states that allow recalls in local communities, and the majority of those, the vast majority, require no evidence at all.
Right.
So
Florida's one of 12 that does.
if you're an elected official, recalls don't scare me. If you're an elected official, for me, you get in office 3 days after being there and you start voting totally out of whack with what the populace wants, then I think they ought to be allowed to pull you out of office.
But that isn't
because
one of the
that threshold
7
is so-
things, though. That's not one of the 7 things. It's malfeasance. It's not because you don't like the way they
So
vote.
really what you're saying is you signed a recall because of the Seagate vote, correct?
No, it's because I thought that it's probable.
You don't think that you should have asked for actual evidence when
That's not the process.
I'm asking you personally. I'm
Well-
asking you about your character, Tom.
There are two ways to look at that. One is to say, go through the whole evidence presentation process. The other is to say, the evidence doesn't really matter. The legislators.
Tom, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you for a second. You get Bill and Ray, who are supposedly the chairs of the recall committee. They say to you, we're going to start a recall. You don't say to them, let me see the evidence before I sign my own name on it, even though the procedure is that they don't need to show it on there. Don't you say to them, hey, man, you're about to ruin somebody's reputation?
I don't see it that way. I see it that there was enough concern about the people that were being recalled.
Over the vote of Seagate. We're being honest. That's what it was about.
There's part of it is, and part of it is judgment of character. It's just not.
But you're not allowed to say you don't like their character and vote them out of office.
Well, I think you're allowed to say anything you want in your own mind.
Well, you can say it,
right?
But that's not the procedure for the recall.
Looking at the case to where it is now in the courts, do you believe that John and Karen were wronged?
I haven't been following it. I haven't.
Okay, let me try this. If there is no evidence that gets put forth, I'm talking about for the defamation. If it comes out that there was no evidence, then
because you don't like this topic, that's why you don't want us talking about it.
Then wait.
If it's not one of the other candidates, you wouldn't give a shit.
Then
to you, Greg.
Then, if it comes out like that, then was it unfair?
Yes, it's unfair.
Okay.
Fair enough. We'll move on.
Fair enough.
I mean, It's okay when we ask people about development. That's okay. It's fair that we ask about the recall.
No,
it's both sides of the issue there.
And I appreciate you answering it.
Totally.
And not getting upset.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. And I think that, yes, it is unfair because there's a big part of me that says we should go through the entire process. But the problem is with the proof process is it takes too long, given the fact that the courts take forever.
I know, and that's to my point that
If
it should have waited.
well, okay.
Maybe it should have waited
Okay.
until an election because. Go ahead.
Can I give you the answer I gave you like really early on? You asked me this, and a bunch of supporters were over here, and I said, having gone through polygraph exams, I said, put them all on a polygraph and we'll solve this today. So I had a solution to the problem. Put Karen, John, put Bill and Ray on the polygraph, and you'll have your answer quickly. Because we can rewind the tape.
No, I'm sure you said it. I just don't remember.
Because I don't know. We don't have any proof. We're not provided proof. I would love to get the evidence one way or the other, but the process doesn't allow for that. I don't like the process, but it is the process.
All right.
We beat a dead horse there.
There are people that want to know how you feel on it, and it probably will come up.
And didn't John McClain say that he spoke to people that felt like they were duped, like they were lied to? Because we've heard from at least one person that's here today that when they were approached to sign the recall, that they said it's because of Seagate. So.
All right, we are beating a dead horse. So it was because of Seagate. Everybody with a half a brain knows it was because of Seagate. But anyway, so what did you think when Anita jumped in?
I think it's great. Great. She's good for the island.
Yep. Okay. What is your definition of responsible growth?
I believe in the comprehensive plan as it's written.
Okay.
And I don't like the fact that there's a ginormous loophole in the comprehensive plan right now around public benefit. There is, the founders did put a loophole in there. I think it was exploited in Seagate, that and the development agreement that was written for small business and used for the biggest development ever on the island. And
then that's it. We're recalling the comprehensive plan.
Well, no, the comprehensive plan did, as we went through the comprehensive, as the town went through the comprehensive plan last time, we said that we ought to move out that segment and move it into the land development code about public benefit. And that's what was agreed to happen. Now, those meetings haven't happened yet, so we're still without defined public benefit, but that needs to be defined. If you're going to grant exceptions based on public benefit, then define what that public benefit is.
What for you is a definition of public benefit?
I think that ought to, and you objected last time you asked this question. I said that's something that the charrettes ought to be done about. That's
okay.
Where public opinion does count. It's just not my opinion. It's whatever the public opinion is. The first time I think I was on your show and I was interviewed, and you asked me that about Seagate, and you said, well, what would you trade for that? And I facetiously or jokingly said, well, if they gave us all the beachfront property, all the Gulfside property, then I might consider it. Well, it was an offhand comment, but boy, did I catch flack after that from the community.
Why? That would be a lot of property.
But still, that was too much of a give. That's the feedback.
Because of the height of the building. Because
the height of the building, that height does not even justify that. And when you think about it, when the neighbors next door, it's not just them, it's the whole community is not willing to give that up for that much property, even for that much property.
Do you think then there's not enough public benefit that could be extracted to justify that building?
17 stories, that is a huge hurdle to get over. Yeah. I don't see how. Okay. I really don't. And the community came back and said, they threatened, I'm going to build it all with 3 stories. All the neighbors said, fine, build it with 3 stories. And the nonsense about Red Coconut, I used to drive my bike through Red Coconut every day and causing additional traffic and intensity and density. No, those condos with that will house 15 people in each condo, there's more people that will stay there than ever stayed in Red Coconut, potentially. So that's a red herring. It's a false argument. It's just not true. And unfortunately, we may be stuck with that.
So John McClain, who's one of the 5 candidates, was on the show yesterday, and I asked him if,
I wasn't there.
If he regretted his vote on Seagate. I kind of felt like he danced around it a little bit. He could have said yes or no. Did you listen to it, see it, and what do you think?
I heard that portion of it.
Okay, what did you think of that answer?
I don't know how you could have missed the fact that the public was against this, and I think that's pretty telling. That's part of the. Did you ever watch you ever watch any of those FMB?
Yes, we watched them all.
You watched them all?
Yes.
See me as Batman? And
Yeah, we
okay.
watched them all. They're
So-
pretty funny. If they weren't as long as they were, we would probably have shared more of them. But some of them were too long.
FMB parody.
Yeah.
So I think my comments as Batman were, well, if you didn't realize that the community was against it, then you're not in touch with the community. You need to be out there with the community. I think one of the things that I've done, and I walked door to door as part of the initial recall, knocked on doors, most of the doors in the town. I met with community groups at Bay Beach Lane. I met with community groups at the Mosquito. I've been around, and it has changed my opinion. I mean, I was probably potentially a little more lenient on some of the things that they want, but the town doesn't want things like height, and they're not willing to give it up.
100%, you're right about that. I don't know how anybody with two eyes doesn't see that. So let me ask you a quick
And
question.
let me finish that up.
Okay.
I stood up in front of the LPA and complained every meeting at the LPA. I complained.
Yeah.
So don't say the residents weren't. I was there complaining, and I complained at every single town hall meeting. It was clear to me, and that's a false trade-off. There was no public benefit. You need to talk about why that public benefit was so great to you, because
I got that one for him.
it's
Jody.
It's no linear park. It's no view to the Gulf Bay waters.
Do you guys need to take a moment?
Yeah,
Do you need
no,
a
after the
moment?
show, we'll have a
Do
moment.
you guys need a moment?
I'm going to jujitsu his ass right out of this
so
building.
that you guys.
So,
It's
Tom,
impossible to have view to the Bay waters. It's impossible, and yet that was in their plan. So they sold a bill of goods to the town, and the town bought it. Certain people in the town bought it hook, line, and sinker when it's not even correct.
so when you brought this up, and I didn't know that. So you're going door to door to talk about the recall, right?
No, talk about.
Oh, you said the
as
recall.
a candidate, as a
Oh,
result of the year.
I
recall,
got you.
As a
Never
candidate
mind
for a
that.
replacement.
Never
of the
mind. I
recall.
thought, did you go door to door to talk about the recall or not?
No, to talk about my candidacy.
I got you. All right. Misunderstood that. Okay. So, we were
I don't
talking
know.
about, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we were talking about responsible growth.
Yes.
Can you be a little more specific on what that means to you?
To me, it means adhering to the comp plan, and
Without that loophole?
well, I get the loophole, but we need to close the loophole. I'm almost to the side that says don't approve more development until it's until we define what that loophole is. Because right now you got developers negotiating with 7 people on the LPA and 5 people on town council, each one talking to them individually, trying to play Monty Hall, let's make a deal. And I don't think that system works around public benefit. They can all meet together and discuss it. They should do that prior to getting in the room and saying, let's do these trade-offs here. A developer agrees to build something and it's washed away by a hurricane. Are they committed to redevelop it? I don't know. It doesn't say, because there's no contract to do that. So I think that I get Dan. I'm at a little bit at odds with the mayor on this. He doesn't want it to say that if you get 1 foot of this, you get 1 foot of that. I get that, but it still needs to be constrained much more than it is today. And I think the LPA agreed. I mean, that's the rules that they set in place. It's just that those meetings haven't happened yet, and they've talked about having those meetings. Rebecca brought it up, so those meetings should go forward, and we should define what that is.
So you would say no more development until that loophole gets.
That's what I
closed
would
out.
prefer to
Okay.
see. Now, if there's really urgent situations that need to get around that, then I understand that also. By the way, I think that not defining that left the developers uncertain for a long period of time. Look what happened with Terry Prasad. And oh, by the way, I'm going to donate $1 on behalf of Terry Prasad
So
to the
that he
fireworks,
can shut up.
so that I don't have to hear about Terry Prasad anymore. Because
Well, now what you're going to hear is we'd like to thank Tom Brady for donating $1 on Terry's.
I'm nobody. I don't know Terry Prasad. I've never
So
talked
let
to
me-
him, met
let
him.
me
But
just-
but you know what? The guy figured out how to work with inside the rules.
Yeah.
And I think that project would have happened 2 years earlier. I don't want to ask Terry if he had not played around with trying to get more than he could. And you want to speed up development, give the developers specific guidelines around it.
But
tell them
Tom,
what to develop.
just on Terry Prasad real quick, that project wasn't even close to anything that could ever be approved. It was a monster. I mean, you have to not be paying attention to put that kind of project forward. It had zero chance of even getting past the
Well,
LPA.
then what do you say about London Bay?
Well, we're going to talk about London Bay because Tom's the only one that can talk about London Bay, and I hope you're going to talk about it, no matter what might happen. Well, we'll see. So anyway, now Terry's building. I don't think it's going to be as ugly as he's put it on paper. He's not that dumb.
Was Sunset
He's
ugly?
not dumb at all.
No.
And so it'll be, if he builds it, it'll be nice. It'll be a nice addition to Times Square, and we'll see what happens there. But Terry has not donated still yet to the 4th of July fireworks, and I promise you I will stop saying that on the 5th of July. So can we
good try.
yeah, I don't know what the dollar is, but can we talk about London Bay? So in my mind, I can't, like, I've said this 1,000 times. Has anybody been paying attention to the last year? Like, does Mark Wilson watch what's going on in this island? And I'm not trying to disparage Mark. He's a smart operator. He's got great facilities and great buildings, and he builds nice things, and people pay a lot of money to stay in his rooms. But there's zero chance that thing is ever going to get approved on this island. Nobody, maybe John King. And I'm not even trying to disparage John King. I'm not even saying I believe he's a yes vote. I can't see John McClain voting yes for it and thinking he's going to get elected. He will not. I mean, how does somebody propose something that big after what they saw, in your opinion? What's going on down there that I'm missing?
Well, I think developers have tried to take advantage of a terrible situation on the island. I mean, Ian.
What do you mean terrible? There's nothing terrible about this island.
No, terrible situation.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah.
Ian took my house. Ian took all my stuff. And I committed to the island, and I rebuilt. And I rebuilt a small house on the island. You don't have to build McMansions. I mean, the island can come back with a lot of the character that it had before. I think that there are people that want to take advantage of our hard times. And this is what I'm saying about London Bay and other big developers. Would those developments ever have been entertained prior to Ian? No. No one would have thought about approving any development anywhere near that prior to Ian. So they're trying to use the fear, which they've spread, and I've complained about the fear. They tried to spread the fear about economic benefit, which isn't true, and people don't understand. But they're everything that they said was based on bad information, and then they've used this live local thing, which seems like a threat to me. You can interpret it how you will, but it looks like a threat to me. And, the problem with that is, that could end up in litigation for the next 50 years too. So because those cases have had, those live local things have had problems in other areas in Florida. So it's not just a done deal that they drop into place either. But, it may be, as I said, I think that if you're proposing that as an alternative, then it's probably better than what you were planning in the first place.
I know,
but no, I think they're just taking advantage. I mean, they may have had no opportunity prior to Ian to build this development on the Gulf so that they can shuttle their people over from their other facility. And they see it as, oh boy, these people are suffering, and there's some open land now, and there's some people that are empathetic with us for whatever reasons. And now's our time to get this approved. And we're going to put something in there that at no other time in the past or in the future, I hope, will anybody even entertain a project like that.
Well, and before Ian, there wasn't the availability of properties.
Correct.
So when you guys say it's a threat, explain a little bit more about that. Why is the live local a threat?
Well, because it's presented as an or else. If you don't give us what I want, then I'm going to do this.
And why would that be a bad thing?
Well, I didn't say it's a bad thing, except it is a threat. I mean,
I don't think anybody believes he's ever going to build back.
Well, that's the other thing that's why I think it's gorilla dust, as I said.
Well, so what if
is gorilla dust?
Oh, gorilla dust, I think, was a term actually coined by Ross Perot, and we used it frequently in business. When you see two gorillas attached, two male gorillas go after each other.
I've never seen that before.
Well, we might see that in a little bit.
If you ever want to see it, the gorillas bend over. They dig their hands into the dirt, and they throw the dirt up in the air to confuse and distract.
That sounds like sumo wrestling to me. Is that what they do?
Very similar to what the sumo wrestlers do.
That we will put behind a paywall.
That's more of a religious That's more of a religious ritual. I lived in Japan for 3 years, so I left that out.
Really?
Lived in Japan for 3 years.
Jamie, do you have any questions so far, or are you okay? Do you have a question? You always have questions, and you are a developer, and you are building something on the island. And do you have any questions yet? I'll come back to you if you don't, but if you do, all right, he'll have a question. So where do you see this? If you were to predict the vote on London Bay today, because we're just us three kids here talking to each other, how do you think that vote plays out with the council made up the way it is right now? Take a guess, Tom.
That's really a difficult question.
No, you could do it though, because you're smart. You were in the CIA.
Well, I can see it. That doesn't make you smart, unfortunately. But
Does it make you able to keep secrets?
They obviously see a path.
No, I can't. There's
Why
no
would they
path.
waste all the time?
I don't
and
know
money?
that they're gonna. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled it out.
Well, then your question's answered. But as long as they keep pushing,
but that's me, and I don't know anything.
As long as they keep pushing, I think they see a path. And if they see a path,
so okay,
because there's a lot of money involved in their consultants.
Let's say they see a path. Your words. Who are the 3 yes votes? If you think they come on, Tom, be a brother here.
No.
Who are the 3 votes?
No.
John. Who else? Who's the other? Who's the third vote? Right? That's what you're saying. If you think they see a path, who do you think the third vote is?
Well, if I were to bet, maybe Scott.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be the only other option, but I can't see him doing that. I mean, Scott wants to be the mayor someday. And I didn't say that.
How do you know that?
Who doesn't want to be the mayor? I want to be the mayor someday.
Well, that's never going to happen.
No,
we
I don't
threatened
see
that if they did do the live local, that we would qualify for housing there, and then
wouldn't that be awesome?
And then we'd come down and live in the live
pickleball
local
5 days a week, 7 days a week.
He'd be able to run.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, this town would go.
There is a path.
There'd be a ticker tape parade.
I want to live on Leah Gregg's street. That's what I want to live next door to her. That's where I want to live if I move down here.
I like that street. That's a nice street.
Which
all
street
the
is that?
streets
I
are
don't even
nice.
know what street that is. So
yeah, one of the first streets up here.
I would want to live on what's that? What's the street? Hercules. I want to live on
No,
Hercules.
you don't. I want to live on Barbara Hill Street. She lives. Does your wife have a question? She's coming over. Does your wife have a question for you or no?
I'm parched.
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. Have something to drink. Have a beer.
Do you want to ask about Bay Oaks? Are we moving on or what?
I love Bay Oaks. Let's talk about Howie's got a question. Howie's always got to stick his nose into things. Come on down, Howie. Ask the question so people on Facebook can hear. Good point about the Ian opening.
I just have one question.
It's going to be a dumb one.
High rise or not? Yes or no?
No on the high rise.
Thank you.
What is the ideal height to you? How high do you think people can go based on, post Ian kind of build? How high would you go?
What's responsibly high?
30 feet over flood.
What is she's not good with math.
Does
So how
it
many
matter?
floors is that?
Comp plan.
Okay. Does
No,
it
2
matter
stories.
where it is on the island?
There are exceptions. There are
Okay.
exceptions for where
That sounds like a loophole.
It is. There are exceptions where it's so surrounded by other tall properties that you could put a taller property in. So there
The
are
same
places on
height as the
there's-
other
yeah.
properties?
They're
Okay,
all-
so
they're-
they would be limited
there
to
are,
that.
There are properties that where you could fit them in on the south end. Unfortunately, what happens with the way London Bay is situated is it's not really in one of those areas. It's a quarter mile at least until the nearest tall property, and it's nowhere near as tall as their property is. So there have to be some awfully good justification, massive public benefit behind approving a project like that, in my mind.
Do you think what you've seen so far from London Bay that they've offered enough public benefit to go 10 floors?
I see almost no public benefit. I saw a linear park that's a sidewalk. I saw a tiki bar that could get washed away in a storm and never rebuilt because it's up to them to rebuild it or not.
Yeah.
A restaurant they can put in and then the restaurant can fail. We see businesses fail. These are not long-term permanent commitments to the island.
Right.
A commitment to the residents would be something that's a permanent commitment.
Like?
Forever, like a true park, like deeding the land, like Margaritaville did. That's deeded land to the town. Town owns it. Town can sell the property. I think the reason why they retain some of these linear parks is that they don't have to then do the setbacks further. So it's to their advantage just to say, well, we'll grant you an easement through our property, but it's still our property.
What if they built a school?
Well,
How do you feel about the beach having a school?
you're getting to a more interesting thing about would I give up a floor for a school? That might be something that I would entertain.
Okay.
So let's talk
So
about
maybe let's say 3 stories for a school. There are things that I'm not saying I would, but there are things that
You're saying
would
it's
be a more
negotiable.
reasonable argument that are permanent benefits to.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they left a small loophole in there, not a loophole for massive buildings.
So let's talk about the beach school, which is growing weeds around it right now. I mean, it'd be nice if we could all go out there and cut the weeds at least, so it'll look nice.
It's not your property.
Yeah.
It's not
Can you
your
imagine us getting a
property.
ticket for cutting the weeds at the beach school? But
I can.
Tom, how does in your opinion, the town pay for a charter school? Where does that money come from? Would you be in favor of the town getting involved financially in funding a charter school?
That's the last thing you would do. The first thing you do is that you do get funds from the local tax authority to run your school.
You don't get enough funds to run the school, though.
You get some funds to run your school.
No help from the peanut gallery there. Hey,
Yes.
are they running?
They're coaching.
Okay, that's fair.
But you get federal funds. You can
Yes.
go for federal funds. You
Sure.
can get grant money. You can get.
It's not 100%. So my question is the
So
same.
if it isn't 100%, you go to private sector.
Okay, would you be in favor, yes or no, of the government putting in funding?
If all of those other avenues fail, yes, I believe there's a path to some funding for the school, because I think that's part of the
From
community.
the taxpayers.
From the taxpayers.
So you'd be okay with raising the millage rate on Fort Myers Beach to fund a portion of the beach school? And they're shaking their head, but it's got to come from somewhere. You can say that the business are going to kick in, and they probably would, but my question is, if the government of Fort Myers Beach had to kick in money to make it work, would you be in favor of raising the millage rate for that?
Well, it is a if then what hypothetical
Yeah, it
type
is.
thing, but
Totally. 100%.
I think that a school is that important.
So the answer is yes.
There are some other things I would look to sacrifice first.
I'm not doubting that.
For example, if we're still funding I'll pick on the mooring field. If we're still dumping money into that and it's not making money for the town, which would I rather give up? If I'm forced to rank things and eliminate one or the other, there's other things that I would eliminate in the town before I would eliminate the school. That's how important I think it is for the town.
And just for the record, the mooring field is not supposed to make money for the town, but it should break even. That is the way it's supposed to be.
It can't really make money, but it's a loss leader right now.
It totally is. And so what about Bay Oaks? Do you think that the government should be funding a park like that?
Governments do things like fund parks.
Make your pick. You want a park or a school?
Park is to the benefit of all.
True.
Bay Oaks, I believe. I mean, my history isn't all together there, but Bay Oaks was a subject of discussion when the town was formed. And Lee County had Bay Oaks. It could have stayed with Lee County, but the town agreed to accept that burden on. And I think that there was a lot of discussion of the founders about, are we ready to take that burden on? And I think it was the right decision. I don't use it as much as I should, but I think that
I do.
I know.
But you're paying.
Well, I still have the check in the car, so I do need to give it to somebody.
But
when I go, it's not open because you can't use a key fob to get in the building.
they're gonna fix that problem. I have faith.
I wouldn't bank on it.
So is Bay Oaks?
I wouldn't bank on it.
Bay Oaks, I think we need to have parks. So we need to have the pool open. Right now, it's really bad because there's not as much there developed to use as there should be. But I think that's part of the role of government is to have parks. There's been parks in every community that I've ever been in. There's federal parks.
Yes.
And the national parks are one of the greatest things of this country. To say you're going to get rid of all parks because you can't
No, I'm
afford
not
them.
opposed to parks. I'm not opposed to parks.
ludicrous.
But my point is, if property tax reform goes through, which it will,
Let's
you're
talk
not
about that.
allowed to use ad valorem funding to pay for parks. So what do? What does the town do?
Let me ask this.
I just asked a question, and now you're going to ask a question on top of it, which totally makes my question irrelevant.
Would you be in favor of Bay Oaks, them selling alcohol to fund anything?
It's too close to the school for me.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
my
what
biggest
school?
complaint about that.
What
Well,
school? There's no school.
I have faith. We're going to have a school, and it's close to the school, especially during school hours.
Would you be in favor
Now, if
of-
you did it maybe on weekends or something like that,
Okay.
you might convince me it's okay. But that is, I don't want that to be a a bar next to our school.
So if the
Well, isn't
design,
there one going into the development?
yeah, the Meyer side, which will
Yeah.
never be built, there's supposed to be a bar there too. So which is wicked close to the school.
Which concerned me.
So if the resort style pool that the town is about to unveil at some point, I'm guessing, I mean, that's what you hear. There's some designs coming out soon. If that resort style pool sells alcohol, you okay with that even until the school opens in the future? Would you be okay with that or no?
No.
Okay, fair enough. So we're done with Bay Oaks. The next question was property tax reform.
I think that Bay Oaks, I think that
We're not done with Bay Oaks. Go ahead.
because I think that they can be challenged to be more fiscally responsible. They were challenged in the past to come up with a pretty free-thinking plan, and they worked on that. They worked hard on it, and then found out, well, there's really not the grant money we thought we could get you. So I think they can be challenged to live within their means, and the people that are on Bay Oaks and the community support. And I think community support is really, really important on this island. You got the Bay Oaks itself, and then you got the Friends of Bay Oaks. You got the Mound House, and people don't talk about the Mound House because that is a sacred cow. And I've been to
That's
India
true.
100 times, and I understand sacred
You've been
cows.
to India
Well-
100 times?
Oh, yeah. I worked for an Indian company, too. I left that out of my resume, but you,
No
you
kidding.
cut me off.
No, so I was going to say there's a
Cut
you're
you
talking about Bay Oaks and utilizing it, having them live within their means. We've just the other day heard somebody who was like, I didn't even know Bay Oaks was there.
Gosh.
So
please.
what do? Do you spend money on advertising to get more?
We've
how
got
do you,
we've
what do you
got
do
good
that?
people, and you task good people to come up with good ideas. That's not a top-down thing. That's a bottom-up development of we can do this, we can do this. Given the means that we have, I think we've got the right people in there. I'd probably I probably would have voted for Greg's spouse to be on there because I do believe that she provides a different perspective, different generational perspective. So, but I think that
She's an American.
Yeah.
So the thing, now what were we
Wow,
talking
you've been
about?
waiting a long time
No,
to put
no.
that one in there.
No, what I wanted to say, there's two things that I don't want to hear from the candidates anymore or anybody, that I'm for responsible growth. Where's that Schoonamaker? No more responsible. Everybody's for responsible growth. And that I can't find Bay Oaks. I'm so tired of hearing that. There's a sign on Estero Boulevard now that wasn't there forever. If you have two eyes, you can see the sign. Maybe the sign needs to be
I know,
bigger.
but maybe they see the sign, but they don't know what's
God,
there.
How
They
can
don't
you? How
know
do
what
you
it
not
is.
know Bay Oaks is there?
I think we're getting more people and we're getting more traffic. I have never seen so many people this time of year wandering around the island.
Here's
It's
free.
It's pickleball. You need
Yes.
more pickleball.
Here's free
courts.
advice. Free pickleball. Run that ad everywhere. You'll see all the old farts like us come from everywhere with their paddles.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's all about the pickleball right now. Then you get them in the building. You see, you got indoor pickleball. You got a weight room that's only open 2 hours a week, and all. You can play basketball. You get clean bathrooms with soft toilet paper. I mean, it's really a nice building.
That was great
Tom.
foresight on the people that were on Bay Oaks,
Yes.
Borcab,
Yeah.
and the Friends of Bay Oaks, great supporters. I want to finish up with saying that our community does support us, and activities like the council can't do everything. Their community is, and I think the people like Let's Go FMB, the activities that they
Yes,
sponsor, it
100%.
takes that burden off the council to generate revenues in the island. And the Chamber of Commerce. I was a member of the American Chamber of Commerce in Japan. I support Chamber of Commerce. I believe it's their business to get more business on the island and come up with suggestions, and we need to support those as these additional organizations that are driven by the people that live on this island.
Or here's a novel idea: get out of the gym business. Let Hammerhead lease out that facility, and they'll figure out how to make money at it, and the town won't have to worry about it.
And I think that if the Bay Oaks group came back to me and said that's the way we think this ought to go,
They'll figure out where to put a safe door with a camera so the little kids that have drunk parents don't get in the building and fall down with weights and things like
I can
that.
understand it, and I'm not against outsourcing things like that should be outsourced.
All right.
So
Well, that's what they
property
brought up at
tax
the meeting.
comes through. Where do you make do you make cuts? Do you raise taxes? How do you, not that it's a huge gap for you guys.
For
but-
Fort Myers Beach, it's a minor problem. It's
Yeah.
it's a little haircut for everybody. Maybe it's as simple as that. We ought to do I mean, I talk about doing scenario planning from way back when about what's going to happen with the taxes. Well, we've done this now, and it looks like it's going to be a 3 and then a 6% cut. That's doable to make it up. The bigger problem is that we do depend on Lee County. Most of the money on ad valorem taxes goes to Lee, and a lot of support comes back from Lee. And I disagree with the idea that Lee can't cut projects that we currently have in place. They can cut anything they want to cut. And it does concern me greatly that we will see the impact of the Lee County cuts on Fort Myers Beach. And we don't know what those are yet. They haven't gone through the scenario planning. I think maybe that's wishful thinking on their part that it's going to go down. The whole premise behind it to me is a tax shift. It's not necessarily tax relief. It's taking the burden off of some people, the people who are homesteaded, take the burden off of them and shift the burden to somebody else. Because
you're assuming that you can't make cuts, but you should be able to make cuts.
But it's not required to make cuts. All it is that it could be a burden shift. And so,
as long as the burden's
if you're
off my
giving
back.
somebody a haircut, who are you giving a haircut to? Who are you giving a trim to?
Well, when you get a trim to everybody, just say everybody reduce your budget 6%.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah.
We're there.
Oh, listen, when we were all going through COVID, we all took pay cuts. And we all figured out how to keep our jobs and make less. And we had to all get through it. And it all worked out. So maybe they can't make all those cuts, but it seems like, the taxpayers are frustrated with the way that government has grown and the way the taxes have gone up. And they're going to vote for this. I mean, by a round of applause in this building, who's voting yes for property tax reform? Who's voting no for property tax reform? One person, Howie.
Two.
And Howie's just
no.
being the rebel over there. We got 2 people. Well, I think it just seems like three people. Donia. Wow, that's crazy, Donia. Well, she's got more money than God, so she doesn't need a tax break. So I do think that's going to pass, and then there will be cuts. There will be services that are lost, and that's okay.
You can pay my taxes then.
Or they could shift the tax burden.
Yeah, or they'll shift part of it. Yeah,
they'll probably do
or raise
a little
fees.
both.
Yeah, a little of everything.
They'll do a little bit of both.
I said this on all 9 of our different shows that we have. It is going to be interesting to see how the governments portray the tax cuts. Like, they're going to have to show that there are going to be cuts and they're going to be increase in fees and they're going to be whatever. And they can't come across like they're trying to fearmonger. And that's the way that all taxpayers are perceiving it right now. And so that's going to be the interesting thing to try and communicate to the voters. How do you make that sound real without making it sound like you're threatening people like London Bay does, according to you? You know what I'm saying?
Wow, there was a lot in that last statement.
No, that's they're all dealing with trying to figure out how to get that education out there. It's just the way it is. Jamie, did you come up with a question yet? All right, come on down, brother. Jamie is the owner of Access 26, which is going to be the new food truck park on Estero Boulevard. Let it rip, Jamie.
I'm into my second build project after Ian, and I'm going to talk a little bit about turtles. And I'm one that loves turtles. I think they're great, but I think that the current ordinances are a little bit restrictive beyond what they need to be. I know the house on the beach, every single window had to be turtle tinted, every single light, regardless if you could see them from the beach. I tend to agree with that, but when you get 1,000 foot from the beach and it can't be seen, why do interior lights have to be compliant? Why do signs that don't face the beach have to be compliant? And I know, I've read the law. It's very specific. You can't have dual lighting to where you can have brighter lights in the and off season. It's blanket. It's got to have window coverings on the house, which I've had a lot of people call me about that. Is that true? I'm 10 houses from the beach. Do I have to have window coverings to get my CO? There are a lot of things that are going on with the turtles. And admittedly, that I've heard them say that 1 out of 1,000 turtles live with the standards we have. And going from that it seems ridiculous to put people through unsafe conditions, lighting on the streets that can't change off season. It just seems ridiculous to do that a lot of areas or countries.
You have a question, sir? It seems like it's a filibuster at this point.
It is a filibuster. One other thing.
All right,
why don't they harvest the turtles? They could probably have 500 of 1,000 live. Okay. So now, what's your opinion on turtles?
So that the third rail on Fort Myers Beach is not development; it's turtles. And Jamie brought it up. Go ahead, Tom.
I love turtles. I think that and the town is not setting a lot of these standards either. So there are things that are more out of control than the town can do. So the town tries to enforce some of these standards that are written at a high level. I think it's a lot of in terms of the environment as a whole. I think there isn't 100% science in everything that we do, but I think that the general population now has said that, well, if we don't know what the root cause of some of these things are, let's err on the side of overcompensating. And I think that's the environment that we're in today. So if we know that, maybe windows on the beach may or may not cause 100% of those problems, and maybe half of those problems, but we know it causes one problem, let's do things. Let's do something rather than do nothing and study it some more. So we're now in the mood around the ecology of saying, let's do some stuff. Let's not use plastic bags. Let's protect the turtles as much as we can, because we may be able to influence the environment in a positive way. So I do support the turtles, and I
Can
understand.
we move on from the turtles? I mean, Jamie, anything else? I'm so bored about the turtles. I mean, that was a good answer, though. That was a good answer. He gave you the answer. You good?
I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you.
Understand, though, we're the only parking lot on the island that's required to have lights.
But do you understand that
they have to be turtle
Nervous Nellies was told they needed turtle lights? That's how far away they needed turtle lights were. That's how ludicrous sometimes it is.
And they're not making that up in the town either.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and so
You've never seen a turtle?
what? Really? There's never been a turtle come down this road, shockingly. No, I mean, the more turtles, the better. I mean, and the problem is with the turtles is they can't protect themselves. They suck at surviving. Like, none of them survive. They're terrible at it. I mean, they need to figure out a better way to live.
Well, then probably
It's
true,
not
but-
shouldn't be up to the humans to find.
But then we need to
Yeah,
get
I
more of
know.
them out there, so the total number increases.
Can we get more of them out there?
I think so.
I don't know. It's called the survival of the fittest, right? Is that? I mean, then what happens when the coyotes start eating the turtle?
You don't want to see turtles disappear, do you?
Tom, what happens when the coyotes start eating the turtle eggs, which is happening? Would you kill the coyotes?
I would certainly put measures in place to keep the coyotes out of there, which they're doing.
They're not doing that. People are trying to correct.
I think they're putting like mesh nets over.
It doesn't
some of this.
work. The coyotes are freaking
Digging through
smart,
those?
Tom.
Yeah.
I haven't studied
coyotes.
that.
So they're debating whether or not to kill coyotes. Now that's not really fair, Tom. Why are you anti-coyote, Tom?
I love coyotes.
I know the strangest thing Sanibel's dealing with right now is turtles versus coyotes,
Yeah.
because they're not going outside the comp plan ever over in Sanibel. So
So they got it on lock.
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. They've
Yeah,
got
somebody-
no loopholes.
somebody called me the other day and asked me why, if Fort Myers Beach doesn't want anything outside the comp plan, why don't they just create a comp plan like Sanibel did? And I don't have an answer for that. Why didn't they just create a comp plan where there's no loopholes, Tom?
Because I think the people that we have to ask Anita, because she was far when she comes on, that why did you allow that loophole to be written into the first comp
What's your
plan?
preference?
I would have no loopholes.
Zero loopholes. 3 over flood, period, end of story.
If we need to change it, if the real answer is 4 over flood, change the comp
Right.
plan.
Right.
It's easy. And the comp plan can be taken back to the community.
Thank you.
Jacksonville
Thank you.
Beach just did this 2 years ago. They took their comp plan back as a referendum to the local community and said, do you want 35 feet or 45 feet? And guess what? 35 feet. They now have a limit of 35 feet. The community said it's 35 feet. Jacksonville Beach. Sarasota Keys fighting this. Siesta Keys Siesta Keys fighting this. Sanibel's already fought it, and Key West has already fought it. You can't build in Key West either.
What is your message? Look right into the camera and give your message to Mark Wilson.
What?
Go back and come back with something that's reasonable for that property. I had a drawing here that I created with an engineering program to show what it would look like built to 2 stories. You can build on the entire lot to 2 stories.
2 stories.
Well, 2 stories over flood, 30 feet over flood. You could build to that. Build to that. I mean, the community would embrace that. You're gonna ruin the lives of the people in Gulfside 12 if you build that building next door to them,
Yeah.
and the single family homes that are built next to that. How can you do that to people on this island? People who those Gulfside 12 people have recently invested to live there, and you're gonna have all those people in those balconies looking down on their pool. So that's just not reasonable.
Dan Allers, have you heard of him?
Yep.
How would you grade him as the mayor of Fort Myers Beach?
B plus.
Why?
I think that
I'm not going to ask you that question, Abby. Don't worry about it. Why would you? Why not an A?
I think I'd like to see Dan drive this initiative to define what public benefit is, and I think that would make everybody happy. It'd make the townspeople happy. It'd make the developers happy. They'd know exactly what they're working with. So that's an improvement that I could see. Some of the projects that I think should be moving forward, and maybe that's more of a Will responsibility than a Dan, seem to be a little bit slower than I would prefer. So I think there's room for
or
improvement.
non-existent at this point. What is your grade for the town manager?
But it's not the town's
I know it's not
fault.
the town's fault. I'm with you 100%.
Well, if A is the highest schedule, I'd say B plus.
B plus for Will. Why not an A?
I like it because of the same things. I wish some of these projects would come in quicker. I'm a big advocate of digital workflow and metrics to drive the town, and we don't have those in place. I'm concerned about the loss of the financial manager and the turnover in that department. We got enough budget.
You went a long time without one, so
upcoming.
Yeah, but if the projects have been approved by both the town council, how is
I
it?
want them to go faster.
Oh, you want it to be approved faster.
I want them to go
gotcha.
faster.
Gotcha.
Implementation go faster.
but the town's not responsible for the business implementing the plan once it
Yeah,
gets
they are.
approved.
The town manager is
You want the town manager to get more involved in the project to try and get them built.
to make these projects go
I see.
faster.
I see. Well,
And how
that's
would he do?
interesting.
How would he do
That's
that?
an interesting question for Will. Next time we have him on.
How would he
Ask
do
him
that?
about digital workflow and then the financial system.
He's in the CIA, dear. He'll
Why
make
aren't
it
they
happen.
why
He'll
aren't
kill
they
people if
implemented?
they don't start their projects. So the other question.
Well,
I have,
Myers side would be first on the list. They've
Yeah.
been longest in the chute.
yeah.
I think the town also needs to transition from, we've been in this emergency recovery mode, and we need to get into the operational mode. And that is a transition. Not always not the best people or that recovered this island who did a fantastic job.
If
Dan gets an A+ on recovering the island.
Yeah.
But now we're transitioning into the operations mode, and we need a little bit different focus on some of the ongoing activities, I think.
So if Anita gets elected, who do you think should be the next chair of the LPA?
Oh, I know a couple people that I would definitely support, and no, I'm not going to name them.
No, I didn't mean get on the LPA. Who should chair the LPA?
Yes, I know a couple people that I would support to
Oh,
chair the
why
LPA.
wouldn't you? Why does that have to be a secret?
Because he's in the CIA.
Okay, fair
Because-
enough.
because maybe they don't want to. Maybe they.
Should it be Jim Bone? Is he on your
Maybe-
list?
maybe
Is Jim Bone on your
they-
list?
I'm not going to tell you.
Is there anything you want to tell us today that we missed? Anything? How can people support your campaign? Is there any issues that we missed? It's been over an hour. I want to be fair.
I had my bride going through my list to make sure that I covered it.
Really? Is she your campaign manager? Is she an American, by the way? Just wondering if.
She's an American. Who's not an American?
It's
okay.
an
He's
inside
not going
joke.
to answer that.
I'm not going to answer that. You can check your notes if you want to.
Thanks.
Abby's going to come on after Tom checks his notes, and she is going to wear her crown and talk about being Mrs. Florida. And she was dropped off by the Secret Service, but apparently the Secret Service doesn't know what the traffic is like on Fort Myers Beach when they come from Bonita. Resiliency. Oh, that's boring. Come on. We talked, the whole show is about resiliency. I mean, that's like saying responsible development, resiliency. Really? Come on.
You want it to be resilient.
Yeah, Okay, we
Okay,
know
so you
you
didn't
want.
ask me
For
about my
resiliency.
accomplishments. My accomplishments are, you usually ask that.
I do, but you haven't been elected to
There-
anything.
well, that's the point is you can
Okay.
look at my past history, but if
Yeah.
your accomplishments in
Dude, you're in the
office-
CIA. That's
I-
enough for me.
I do go to the.
I'm
I-
voting for
I
you.
do go to the LPA and
Yes.
town council, and I talk at those meetings, and
Yes, you
I
do.
advocate on behalf of the residents of this town. Actively
This is
advocate.
why they should vote for you. This is your That's
This
yes.
I actively advocate. I was fat, dumb, and happy until after Ian, and then I saw things happening in town that I didn't like, and so I became actively involved in pushing some agendas forward. And I participate in strategic planning workshops, comp plan workshops, resiliency workshops, all the workshops that have been held on the island.
Very active. Very active.
So, and I believe that we're at a crossroads. This is a time of change for the island. This voting period is as important as any on the island, and because things will change depending on who gets into office. I have a proven track record working globally
It
across
sounds now you're
diverse
sounding
groups,
too
blah,
canned.
blah, blah.
You were canned the whole hour. Now it sounds like
no,
canned.
he's reading.
I know.
But you asked me, and these are things that aren't necessarily true of other candidates.
Critical.
I will adhere to the founder's vision of the comprehensive plan. And I have no commercial interest in the island.
Fair enough.
I am not influenced. I have no side businesses. I don't own 2 homes. I don't intend to rent them out. I can't move off island. I will die in my house on this island.
Is it during election, before the election,
Might
after
be,
the election? or
Might
what?
be, but I am never moving anywhere. I am here for the long run. I have been called to this position. I have a sense of duty to my community,
Call of Duty.
and I love it.
So, Tom, now that you've been able to do an autopsy of your election during the recall, how did you lose to Rebecca by 7 votes?
I don't think we'll ever know. It could be 4 votes. If 4 people voted not for her and for me, it'd be 4 votes.
Okay, well, you're trying to confuse me, but I would like to know if you
She won by 7. If you take 4 of her 7,
No, I
and
get
move
that.
those
I'm
over
very
me.
good at math, Tom. I don't know if you knew that, but
So
wait,
it
what do
could be
you?
as little as 4 votes. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's an
It doesn't
interesting
matter.
thing to. How do you? How do you think? Why do you think you didn't win?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask the people that voted.
Okay,
I have
all right.
no, I can't.
Tom.
I have no idea.
You're usually
What
good
do you
at
think-
answering.
What do you think I did wrong?
I don't think you campaigned hard enough. I don't
Really?
think that's what you told me once. You didn't really campaign hard,
Oh, okay.
and she did, and she had signs. Did you have signs
So
that ever?
yeah, we had joint signs actually.
Really,
Yeah.
joint signs. Well, actually,
What?
technically, you did win, but it didn't work out because of a technicality, right? I mean, the whole thing.
Right.
So, any other issues or anything that we may have missed? Any other questions from the peanut gallery out here? Schoonermaker, you have any questions? Oh, he's out smoking a cigarette. Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Anything,
gotta
Greg?
go.
Did you have any questions? Anybody? Anyone? Anybody from Cape Coral have any questions about what's going on here? They're so bored. They can't wait to go to SOB.
No, they're waiting for you and Skasny to throw the dirt
No.
and
No. It's
do your
any
Yes.
final
Yeah, let Abby
Oh
talk.
yeah, you got
Yeah, she
Yeah.
stuck it out the whole
I know.
time here.
for her.
Tom,
Yes.
Tom, how do people get?
Oh my
Do
God.
you have a website? Do you have the donation page? All that. Make sure.
Yes,
that's
it's
out there.
FMB Tom Brady, FMB Tom Brady, www.
Oh my God! If I don't ask this question, they're gonna kill me. So you were the president of. There's so many organizations. What was the name of the org? Protect FMB.
FMB.
Are you going to resign that spot, or where is that group dissolved, or what's going on with that? Because you raised the money. How much money did you guys? Please tell me how much money you had to pay an attorney. Please tell me it was less than $500,000.
No, because we were early
be.
on. We had
About $500,000.
we had donors specifically ask us not to talk about it.
I feel bad that you had to pay that much money for attorneys. I wish they would give the money back for losing. That should be one of the things. They should have to give the people their money back. It's so not right that they made that money. And you didn't even get it back to the town council, which it seemed like almost everybody would have been okay with. That's the thing that really stinks about that, a total waste of money.
So what I said before on Protect FMB is, I support it 100%. And I'm glad I stayed involved. I don't think it was a prerequisite to me leaving because it's not required by law. You can still stay in the Protect FMB organization.
But if you're not going to appeal, does it matter?
But yes, because it can transform into representing the other facets of the citizens on the island.
Is there money
left?
left?
It wasn't a one issue organization.
All right.
And I think that, but if there's a concern about conflict, I would resign that position.
Well, do you think there's conflict or not?
It depends on how we remake ourselves.
Who's we?
Protect
Protect
FMB.
FMB.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're just leaving it out there for now that you're still the president, but it could change.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Big hand for Tom Brady, everybody. Good luck. We'll see you Wednesday night, Tom, when we have our debate at Margaritaville's ballroom, where it will be air conditioned, everybody. So if you're in town, please come by. But if you're not in town, it'll be broadcast live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to the next segment with the crowned lady, the crowned queen of Fort Myers Beach is coming up next. But first, our sponsors of the show, Michael Stewart, because if you want to build a house, you want to build a house with Michael Stewart's background, because your house will not fall into the ditch. Michael Stewart is a structural engineer. He can design anything from residential, commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Michael Stewart's residential services range from new custom homes directly on the Gulf Bay or the Finger Streets. That's a side street if you live in Lehigh and didn't know what that meant, Mike. Most of what he does right now is residential as a result of the storm. Give Michael Stewart a call at 239-292-7670, 239-292-7670, or go online at mstewartpe.com. That's mstewartpe.com. One of our newest sponsors with Power Block Builders, a trusted home builder serving the Fort Myers Beach area, is proud to announce, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, Jamie. Thank you very much. Eagle Strike Roofing, a dedicated roofing company focused on protecting your entire home from the top down, backed by the same commitment to quality, craftsmanship, and customer service that built their reputation in home building. Eagle Strike Roofing is now live and operational to protect your home just in time for hurricane season. And I don't even like saying those two words, hurricane season. When is the end of hurricane season? October 1st? Oh, I can't get here fast enough. Eagle Strike Roofing for all your roofing needs. Go online and check them out. Eagle Strike Roofing. Thank you for joining the club here, our little club that we have. I know we have another sponsor. I guess I'll find it later. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. She's brought her sash. She's brought her crown. She is Mrs. Florida. And there's a difference between Miss Florida and Mrs. Florida, because Miss Florida is probably single and Mrs. Florida is married. Here she is, your PIO, Abigail. You know, Abby, I don't even know what your last name is.
It's Eberhardt.
Eberhardt, that's
Yes.
right. Abigail Eberhardt. And
I brought you a choice today,
oh.
though, Ed.
I am not going to wear the crown, but
I
I
thought
would.
you could either wear the crown or the Bay Oaks hat.
I would love the Bay Oaks hat.
I thought you might choose
I
that.
love Bay Oaks. It's my new favorite place. I can
will
find
put
you a
the
better
crown
hat
on.
place, by the way. Very nice. By the way, Ed Schoonamaker found Bay Oaks for the first time yesterday and took a picture
He
out in
is
front of
an
Bay Oaks.
ambassador now.
Is that right? You're an ambassador to Bay Oaks. Oh, he doesn't even have one of those hats. So, first of all, why were you late to my show? You know, we talked about this over and over again, and you were late. What happened?
Because I knew Tom Brady was going to be on. And if I've known anything about this island, it's that Tom Brady talks a lot. So
Yeah, but you were.
Tom. But I knew that I would have a lot of time to grab a coffee.
But you were scheduled to go on first,
No,
Abby.
you said I was after Tom.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Then he
Well,
owes you an apology.
I am sorry about that.
That's okay.
Did the Secret Service drop you off again, or did you
Not
drive
today.
yourself today?
I drove. Actually, I drove parked by you, and I noticed you have shoes outside your car.
Because I played pickleball today, and I like
Wow,
to
look at
have them air
that.
out. Yes.
Plug for Bay Oaks.
Yes, big time, Bay Oaks. We love the Bay Oaks pickleball courts. It's a lovely facility. And how are you liking your job now? You've been here how long? 6 months, 9 months, a
Yeah,
year?
almost 7. I love the job. And Tom, I give you a hard time, but we on this beach are so lucky that we have citizens that care. I can't tell you how many public information officers from other municipalities, other regions around Florida who say that they have a hard time getting citizens to engage. And I'm like, we do not have that problem on Fort Myers Beach.
Oh, no,
because
they engage.
I get calls, I get text messages, and people care about how this island
Yep.
looks and feels. We may have, discussions and disagreements over how big we want buildings, but people show up for this island. So round of applause for people like
Yes,
Tom who
Tom.
care, who show up.
I'm voting for Tom, by the way. Tom, what are your socks? You have blue socks on. What are the socks about there? What do they say on them?
Fish.
Fish.
Can you
Do you have
stay
any
on
special
topic?
CIA socks still?
Here,
from back in the day.
Dear.
What would the CIA?
I'm gonna
Sox
turn
be?
you
To be
off.
invisible.
Move on.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
So-
Ken, I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
So
lucky
I
to have
hear
Ken.
through the grapevine that your
Can I-
husband is big deal in the
Oh,
Republican Party.
Oh, I was wondering what Ed was going to pick up on.
Yes. So what is his deal like? He's like a big deal in the Republican Party. What is he
You
scoop
know,
there?
he's a big donor and supporter. My husband's a conservative. You know,
Yeah.
he cares about the conservative party. He has an incredible story. Born and raised in Georgia in a camper trailer with 5 kids, a dad that worked nights, a mom that raised those kids, and so he just believes in the American dream, and he believes that people should be able and able to pick
When you
themselves
say
up.
big donor, what's the
Oh,
biggest
keep it close.
donation you've ever given to a campaign
That I've ever given.
that he's
Keep it-
ever given?
Oh,
Keep it
I
close.
don't know.
Keep it close.
I don't know.
Dear, she
know.
is
Honestly, I
not here
don't
to
know.
talk about her
She
husband.
knows,
Do
but
you
she
want
knows.
to
She
interview
could
her
say,
husband? Then
no
you
answer.
can call him.
Will he come on the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Dan
There
would
you
love to
go.
come on the
Is
show.
he a Byron
yeah.
Yeah,
Donald
maybe like a
supporter?
Thursday night
He
show.
likes Byron. I think he wants to see more focus on fiscal responsibility. I think there's a bigger focus right now on these buzz issues. He doesn't
Yeah.
like that. He wants to get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about tax reform. Let's talk about the Florida budget.
Oh, I
Let's
would
talk
love
about the
to have
national
him on.
deficit, which is a major problem.
We don't care about the national deficit. Is he voting yes for the property tax reform? Do you think he'll?
I'm sure he will. He's
Yeah.
a conservative.
What is your vote on
Yeah.
that?
You know, I work for the people, and I think we say this at town hall as well. Like, if the people want this, then we support them, and we'll figure it out. It's
So tell us about your
Not yet.
Crown.
Not yet.
No,
dear. We got
dear-
this as a once in a lifetime opportunity.
dear.
How many emails have you
on.
gotten from Leah Gregg? How many?
Leah's a very engaged citizen. A couple. She has some detailed
A
questions.
couple hundred,
and
if you're being honest.
she, I think she has a meeting coming up with the town. So
Really?
Is
Is that a public meeting?
No, I think it's just a private meeting to discuss issues of hers. But
I see.
she's an engaged citizen.
Yes,
she
for
has
sure.
concerns. And
100%,
Will and the mayor
very
definitely
smart.
want to make sure that she's
Very
heard.
smart.
So
Yes. Yeah. They want to be able to hear you
Okay.
in the peanut gallery.
I know
over
I don't
there.
like to eat the mic.
Yes. So tell us first about how the parade is coming, please.
Yes, we're really excited. 4th of July parade. And I just talked to Jeff. So if you are a not-for-profit, so a 501c3, you actually get to ride in the parade for free. So please send an email to me, abigail.eberhard@fmbgov.com, and I will get you in the parade. We just need the specifications of the vehicle that you're riding in, but we really, really, really want people to sign up. So 501c3s, it's free, and it's only $40 if you're a business. So we have about 20 spots left. I'll be making calls this week to hopefully some dealerships and people to see if they want to join the parade, because it's going to be a good one this year.
Yes. 4th of July is on the 4th if you're from Lehigh and didn't know that, and that's a Saturday this year. The 3rd of July is when we're putting the flags out. So if you have your flags, please put them out on the 3rd, and please remember to try and pick them up on the 5th or the 6th at the latest so that they're not blowing around on Estero Boulevard.
And
Dave-
Mrs. Fort Myers actually will be in the parade.
Is that right? Are you the
down-
Grand Marshal of the parade?
I am not. So
Okay.
I was Mrs. Paradise Coast, and I represented Naples and Marco. But Dominique Traguno, actually, she got runner-up. So she's Mrs. Florida American, which is a big deal. And she represented Fort Myers.
Yes, I watch all of these pageants all the time. So what
Yeah.
what possessed you to enter a beauty pageant? Like, why do you do that? Is there some kind of, are you going to be in the Miss America pageant? Is Donald Trump still run the Miss America pageant? Is that
So
in New-
Trump owned the Miss Universe pageant.
Oh,
so
of
I'm going to
course.
be in the Mrs. America pageant in Vegas in about 2 months. So I'm really
They're going
excited.
to Vegas tomorrow.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I don't think the pageant queens will be there,
No,
but you'll have a
where
good
is
time.
where is the pageant going to be held in Vegas?
The Westgate Resorts.
Oh, they're going to the Bellagio.
Yes.
I don't even know. I've never even heard of the Westgate. I wouldn't stay at the Westgate. I mean, no,
Well,
is that a nice hotel?
It
Seriously,
is. It
yeah.
is. And Jackie Siegel, the owner, actually is a wonderful contributor.
So how many ladies? They were all ladies, right? This
Yes,
is okay.
yes.
How many ladies were? I want to make sure I ask the right questions and not offend anybody this year. How many ladies were in this pageant that you won?
So about 13. But Ed, it's not just a beauty pageant. We like to say in pageantry that it's more about our platform and our cause than it is about beauty. So it's, I don't know if you've ever seen Miss Congeniality, and she's like, it's a scholarship program. It really is. And at this level, at the Mrs. level, you do this because you have a cause that you care about or something that you champion. So every woman that's at that pageant has had some adversity or something affect them that they want to help impact and transform their communities.
What was your adversity?
Mine is water safety ed and swim lessons.
Did you have an adverse thing with water in your history?
I
or-
did. So when I was young, I lived in New Orleans, and Hurricane Katrina came through my
Yeah.
city, and I was actually caught in the floodwaters.
Really?
Yes, and
Were
so
you hanging onto a tree or something like a lot of the people were here?
well, we were
during-
in our attic.
Really?
Yes, and so I had to tread water for a long time, but my parents gave me the water safety skills to be able to do that. And so I work in communities. I work for the YMCA. I work for the American Red Cross to try and teach swim lessons and teach other people to have those water safety skills.
Wow.
Actually, one of the most important things for a community with water safety is to have a community pool. That's why it's so important we have a community
Nice
pool. Ed.
segue there.
88% of all drownings are impacted, or you can prevent 88% of all drownings by having a community pool. So that's why it's so important we have one, so we can teach swim lessons. So if we have floodwaters again, we can have children that are able to navigate out of them and not
What is
drown.
the latest that you know about the pool here? What's the process with the pool?
I want to
Or-
say in the next week and a half or so, we're maybe going to be able to show some designs.
Sweet.
And it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
You've seen them.
I haven't, but I've heard.
Oh, you've heard through the
Yeah,
grapevine.
Through the grapevine.
That pool has been closed way too long. And one of the things Dan has been saying every Sunday is that was a revenue generator for the town. I mean, I don't know how much revenue, but at least it was generating something compared to now. So,
But it's not about that, Ed.
it's not about revenue.
It's about
Oh.
teaching children how to
I see.
swim.
Sorry.
The Bay Oaks is about having people as
Yeah.
a community join together. This is not a business. This is a community. If
Okay.
we were in this for a business, then we would have people on the margins left out completely.
I see.
We're here to
I don't want
serve.
anybody left out, Abby. I want everybody inside the margins.
Do you know how to swim, Ed?
I do know how to swim. I'm an
Okay.
Olympic swimmer, by the way. I've been in marathons. I did an Ironman once in my mind. And
All right,
it
Ed,
was-
then
it
you can
was,
teach swim lessons with me when we get this pool open.
You know, the Bay Oaks Committee was talking about extending the deepness of the pool and the length of the pool, and I'm like, I don't think there's going to be any negotiating on
We
the
can't
pool.
do
but-
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I know that per FEMA specifications, we have to
Yeah.
rebuild it kind of exactly the same way it was per depth and width. But
So,
it's going to be great nonetheless.
Are you a good swimmer?
I'm a great swimmer.
Yes. So, what
Yes.
is? How fast can you swim a mile?
A mile?
Yeah.
I don't know. I swam long course and short course.
Yeah.
So
really?
actually, we just had
I prefer
a
the long
woman
course.
broke the record for the 50 freestyle. I'm going to say she got it in about 23:12 seconds, but I could swim it probably in about 25, low 25.
I
that's
got
my
you. I prefer to
fastest.
swim with sharks just to make it a little more interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, off the
Ed?
shores of Australia. Yeah, have you ever swum there?
No,
Really?
I don't think you have either.
Well, come on, how dare
I
you?
feel like you're
How
swimming
dare
with
you?
sharks sometimes on this radio show in Fort Myers
How
Beach.
dare you insult me like that? So,
But
and-
no, we're so excited that Southwest Florida is going to be represented at the Mrs. America pageant. And
where?
if,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and if I win or Dominique wins, we actually do a national press tour. And we're
You
able
you
to,
talk about Dominique like everybody should know
Yeah.
who that is. Should we know who that is?
You should. She is incredible. Her name is Dominique Triguno, and she's going to be in the 4th of July parade. So if you have a chance to meet her there, go talk to her. She lives in Fort Myers, Alva region, and she's a major stakeholder in her community. So
Okay.
we actually yesterday went to a Lee Foster's girls event. It was a Princess Day for girls that were in and out of the foster system. And
Did
she
you wear your
helped
crown?
spearhead that. I did wear my crown.
Yes. Did
I
you get
did.
dropped off by the Secret Service just to?
I drove my Volvo, like always.
You'd stop lying to people that you drive a Volvo.
I do
mean,
drive
come on.
a Volvo,
Stop it.
Ed. No, but it was incredible. I didn't know that a lot of the biker gangs in the community are actually major charitable contributors. So these were the defenders of the innocent.
There are biker gangs
They
in
were
this community.
Yes, they
Wow.
were biker guys. They were wearing crowns and tiaras to help support the
Oh, that's-
girls.
I have seen that before.
And
That's pretty cool.
They showed up in full force
Yes.
for these little girls that are in the foster system.
So, what
it
is
was a
the
wonderful event.
progression if you win this next thing? What do you do next? Like
Then
where
I'm Mrs. America.
you are Mrs. America.
Yes.
Wow. Does that bring like lots of money, or I mean, what is fame,
No.
or what's the next step after that? Mrs. Universe.
No, I probably wouldn't do business. No, I want the ability to represent and be a goodwill ambassador.
Yeah.
And so it's just another opportunity to bring goodwill to communities. The current Mrs. America, Paige Ewing, she represents Georgia, and the amount of visibility that she's brought to some issues in her state and her community are wonderful. So we need these pageants because we need to be able to show little girls that you can be both beautiful and a change maker in your community.
That was well said right there. Yes,
Thank you.
very
I
nice, very
appreciate
nice.
that.
So, what is the most challenging job of being a PIO of a small community?
not being able to do anything. So as the PIO, it's my job to communicate your problems and your issues, but it's not my job to necessarily make that change happen internally. I serve at the pleasure of the council and I work for the town manager. And, it's sometimes I hear problems and issues and it's my job to deliver that information, but I wish I could go and go to their home and lift their house or turn on their water or clean their pool. Your heart bleeds for people in this community because they want to rebuild. They want to come back. And I've been there. I've seen my items in a pile of mud. I've seen my possessions be treated like trash by Mother Nature. And it's so hard to see people try and recover from that and have trouble doing that, especially if they can't afford to. So that's the hardest part of the job, is just not being able to do enough sometimes.
Who's the most difficult council member to work with right now?
No, y'all, the council, they're great. I mean, each one of them, and I had, my suspicions about some coming in, but each one of them takes the time to learn about the issues, figure out a problem, communicate how we could do better. I mean, they care. They really do care. We may not agree with how they execute it, but...
Is the way John King ends the meetings the dumbest thing you've ever heard?
Well, I learned recently that he was on radio.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of something he used
Short
to do.
time. He
Like
was a
maybe
short
you should
timer.
start doing something funny like that, Ed.
I
You don't
do.
really sign off.
You know what the funniest thing
You're
I
kind
heard
of just
was
like, bye everybody, buy my coffees.
I never say buy my coffees on the show. I only say it on Facebook. I swear I heard Anita say at the end of the LPA meeting last time, bye. I swear I heard her say that.
Anita
I'm
does
gonna
kind
have
of
to
have
go.
a fun sign off. Yeah.
She stole my sign off. I have to go back. If that is true, if I go back and spinning.
What's your sign off?
Well, obviously you've never listened to the show, Abby,
do it
which
right
I
now.
appreciate. No, well, I'm gonna
I'll give it between a 1 and 10.
What?
I'll give it between a 1 and 10.
No, I'm not.
We can workshop
It's
this.
it's a 10 plus. There's no doubt
If
about it.
I don't know it, then it's probably like a 5.5.
This is the first show you've ever seen because you're here. So
It's not true.
no,
Adam.
we
I'm
do
major
appreciate
watcher.
the relationship we have with the town. It's never been as good as it is right now with
That's
Will
very
and with
nice.
Abby and with this council. I mean, the building aside, these are all great people. Even all five. I don't mean to say even, but all five candidates are great people.
Yeah, they really are.
And I have something to compare it to now because we've been in Cape Coral for a year. Those people are batshit crazy in Cape Coral. It's just, you can't even compare it to what we have here in Fort Myers Beach. So thank you for all the work you're doing, and thanks for coming on today and sitting through the entire
Thank you for
show.
having
That was a
me.
pageant wave, everybody.
I will represent our state well. Thank
Thank
you so much.
Big hand for Abby, everybody. Hey, there, you're coming back on to where are you going today? Well, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you to Tom Brady. And so let's see. Wednesday, we have the debate. Please come down to Margaritaville on Wednesday to see the candidates in person. I'm sure they're going to have handouts. I'm sure they're going to have ways that you can contribute to their campaign. You want to come and meet. It's basically a meet and greet. If you want to come down, Margaritaville always does a great job of setting things up. And all five candidates, I don't know if I told you this, all five candidates get free parking on Wednesday. So remember that. I don't know what I'm going to get you some kind of card or something. And then on Saturday, Dan Allers just made a great suggestion. He said, why don't we do the show from the boat for the parade? Salty Sam's has a Patriot parade. They have over 50 boats in this parade. And we're going to be on the mayor's boat broadcasting the parade from the water. I'm going to need some kind of seasick bag or something for that parade. And then Sunday, Anita will be on. And then it's the 4th of July, everybody. And I've got the greatest 4th of July outfit. This is America right here, the greatest country in the world. Thank you again for tuning in today. Thanks to Tom. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.